What is happiness? Happiness is a feeling, but people might define it differently. Some might say it's joy, contentment, or satisfaction. Maybe it's not just a momentary emotion but a longer-term state. Psychologists differentiate between hedonic happiness, pleasure, and eudaimonic happiness, meaning. So maybe happiness is a mix of feeling good and having purpose. Next, how to find happiness. If it's about pleasure and meaning, then finding activities that bring joy and also contribute to a sense of purpose. But how do you balance that? Maybe things like pursuing hobbies, building relationships, helping others, setting goals. But I wonder if there are common strategies that work for most people. Like practicing gratitude, mindfulness, exercise, social connections. Also, maybe understanding that happiness isn't a constant state but something that fluctuates. So managing expectations is important. How to stay happy? That's tricky because life has ups and downs. Maybe resilience plays a role here. Coping strategies for when things go wrong. Staying connected with others, maintaining healthy habits, continuing to engage in meaningful activities. Also, maybe avoiding things that undermine happiness, like comparing oneself to others or chasing material things. But is that realistic? People often get stuck in negative thought patterns, so techniques like cognitive behavioral therapy might help reframe thoughts. Happiness in life. This seems broader. How does happiness contribute to a fulfilling life? Maybe it's about aligning one's actions with personal values, having supportive relationships, achieving a balance between work and leisure, personal growth. Cultural differences might affect this too. For example, individualistic versus collectivist societies might prioritize different aspects of happiness. Also, the role of genetics and circumstances. Some research says a portion of happiness is genetic, another part is circumstances, but a significant part is under our control through attitudes and actions. Wait, there's the happiness set point theory, which suggests people return to a baseline level of happiness after events. So maybe staying happy requires continuous effort in practices that elevate that baseline. Like maintaining gratitude journals, regular exercise, meditation, fostering relationships. Also, setting and working towards goals that are meaningful but not necessarily tied to external rewards. There are any contradictions or different theories. For example, some might argue that pursuing happiness directly can make it elusive, and instead, focusing on other aspects of life leads to happiness as a byproduct. Or the concept of flow, where engagement in activities that challenge skills leads to happiness. So maybe finding flow activities is a way to both find and sustain happiness. Also, the role of self-compassion and acceptance. Being okay with not being happy all the time. Recognizing that negative emotions are part of life and not a failure. This could help in maintaining overall happiness by reducing the pressure to feel happy constantly. In terms of practical steps, maybe the answer should include both internal and external factors. Internally, mindset, gratitude, mindfulness, self-compassion. Externally, relationships, community, purposeful work, physical health. How these interact. The idea that happiness is about constant positivity, which isn't realistic. Or that material possessions lead to lasting happiness, which they don't. Also, the importance of giving and altruism in enhancing one's own happiness. Positive emotion, engagement, relationships, meaning, and accomplishment. That could be a good framework. Common misconceptions. Happiness isn't the absence of negative emotions, but the ability to manage them and maintain a positive outlook overall. Another point is that happiness is subjective, so what works for one person might not for another. Encouraging self-reflection to find personal sources of happiness. In terms of staying happy, emphasizing habits over quick fixes. Daily practices, routines that promote well-being. The importance of adaptability and resilience in the face of challenges. Maybe touch on the role of therapy or counseling if someone struggles with mental health issues affecting their happiness. So putting it all together, happiness is a multifaceted concept involving both pleasure and meaning. Finding it through self-awareness, relationships, purposeful activities, and gratitude. Sustaining it through healthy habits, resilience, and continuous engagement with meaningful pursuits. and understanding that happiness in life is a dynamic balance influenced by mindset, actions, and social connections. Happiness, a multifaceted journey. 1. Understanding happiness. Happiness is a complex blend of emotional states and life satisfaction, encompassing both hedonic, pleasure, joy, and eudaimonic, meaning, purpose, dimensions. It's not a constant euphoria but a dynamic balance where positive emotions outweigh negative ones over time. Key elements: positive emotion, joy, gratitude, engagement, flow in activities, relationships, social connections, meaning, contributing beyond oneself, accomplishment, pursuing goals. 2. Finding happiness. Self-awareness. Identify what brings you joy and purpose. Reflect on values and passions. Relationships. Cultivate deep connections. Social bonds are a cornerstone of well-being. Gratitude practice. Regularly acknowledging positives shifts focus from scarcity to abundance. Mindfulness. Stay present through meditation or mindful activities to reduce stress. Altruism. Helping others boosts personal happiness. Flow activities. Engage in tasks that challenge and absorb you, fostering fulfillment. 3. Sustaining happiness. Habits over quick fixes. Incorporate daily practices like exercise, healthy eating, and sleep. Resilience. Accept setbacks as part of life. Use cognitive reframing to manage negative thoughts. Continuous growth. Set meaningful, intrinsic goals, e.g., learning, creativity, rather than chasing external validation. Self-compassion. Embrace imperfection. Allow yourself to experience and process negative emotions. Avoid comparisons. Focus on personal progress, not societal benchmarks. 4. Happiness in life. Balance. Integrate work, leisure, and relationships. Prioritize experiences over materialism. Cultural context. Recognize that happiness varies across cultures. Some emphasize community, others individual achievement. Genetic and circumstantial factors. While approximately 50% of happiness is genetic and 10% circumstantial, 40% is within your control through attitudes and actions. Dynamic process. Happiness evolves with life stages. Adapt by reassessing goals and values. Misconceptions and pitfalls. Happiness isn't constant positivity, it's about managing emotions holistically. Pursuing happiness directly can backfire. Focus on process-oriented goals, e.g., building relationships, instead. Final insight. Happiness is a journey shaped by self-awareness, intentional habits, and resilience. It thrives in a life rich with purpose, connection, and adaptability. By embracing both joy and challenges, we cultivate a sustainable, fulfilling existence.